You want peace, you want power. Wow. Shabbat, we just floating down the water. We just taking it all in today, man. Hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing. Staying hijack free. Keeping that static, clear from your cipher, man. I mean, choosing up is a lifestyle, not a hobby. It's a daily thing, man. It ain't easy. Being you ain't easy. But the reward is perfect. Drop Nation, what it do? Shabbat, what it do? You've been with me surfing the ether every night. Much ado to you, man. You know who you are. You know how we dig on it. I'll see y'all tonight in the drop chatter. Chat. We're just surfing away. You know we've been in that Book of Jasher, man. That Hawashar, man. We got it before. Just want to get this piece, man, that we read live in the ether. Let's get this piece, because I want to take a perspective, man. I want to enjoy this perspective of Moshe. I'm just talking the water. So flow on with me to the Book of Jasher. If you got it, man, I'm reading out of that Et Sephor. And when Moshe was 18 years old, he desired to see his father and mother. So right away, we're talking about a part of the story that you might not be privy to. If I ask you who is Moshe's father, what would you tell me? Are you sure? If I ask you, before Moses led the Hebrews out of Egypt, what was he doing for 40 years? Who was he fighting for 40 years? And how old was he when he became the king of Cush? Not Egypt, the king of Cush. But let's go. So when we talk about your priest kings, man, we're talking about knights and swords and knights and swords. I'm talking about a round table, 360-degree perspective, dragonfly perspective. The Book of Hawashar, chapter 71, man, we just surfing away. And when Moshe was 18 years old, he desired to see his father and mother, and he went to them in Goshen. And when Moses had come near Goshen, he came to the place where the children of Israel were engaged in work. And he observed their burdens. And he saw a Egyptian, smiting one of his Hebrew brothers. And when the man who was beaten saw Moses, he ran to him for help. For the man Moshe was greatly respected in the house of Pharaoh. For the man Moshe was greatly respected in the house of Pharaoh. And he said to him, my Lord, attend to me. This Mitzri came to my house in the night. This Egyptian came into my house at night, bound me, tied me up, and came to my woman in my presence. And now he seeks to take my life away. So this Egyptian, according to the book of Jasher, chapter 71, came into this Hebrew brother's house, tied him up, took his woman in front of him, and now is trying to kill him. And this is the situation Moses is walking up into. Now you heard that Moses slayed a man, an Egyptian, but did you hear the story like this before? We got to fill in the gaps. Why did Moses slay the Egyptian, and was it law? Was it a mistake? Was it him being angry, or was it law? And when the man who was beaten saw Moses, he ran to him for help. For the man Moshe was greatly respected in the house of Pharaoh. And he said to him, my Lord, attend to me. This Egyptian, this Mitzri, came to my woman in my presence, came to my house at night, bound me, and came to my woman in my presence, and now he seeks my life. And when Moshe heard this wicked thing, his anger was kindled against the Mitzri, and he turned this way and the other. And when he saw no man was there, he smote the Mitzri. He killed the Egyptian man and hid him in the sand, and delivered the Hebrew from the hand of him who smote him. So it wasn't about him just getting angry at this man getting beaten. This man had broken to the Hebrew brother's house, tied him up, and took his woman in his presence, took his wife in his presence. I mean, do you have a law against that? So this man was breaking the law. So Moses took him out by law, natural, by law. So this is Moses at 18 years old. Now, we are in chapter 71. Let's get chapter 73. Let's get it, man. Wow. In the 5th year of the reign of the Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, that is the 157th year of Israel going down into Egypt, reigned Moses in Cush. So in other words, in the 157th year of Israel going into Egypt, Moses became king of Cush. Cush? Well, obviously you got the tribe, the Cush tribe, right? The Cushites, right? But he became tribe. He became the king, the Negush, the Khan of all these people. Now let's read about it. Because all you hear about Moses freeing Hebrews out of Egypt. Hebrews in Egypt. Hebrews and Egyptian. Mitzrayim, Mitzri. But what about Cush? And why did Moses make an alliance with Cush and become king of Cush for 40 years? And how does that play today when you talk about a mixed multitude, a Abyssinia, a Prester John, priest king, emperor of the Abyssinias, or mixed multitude according to etymology, when you factor in Moses being king of Cush for 40 years? Now in chapter 73 it says, in verse 2, Moses was 27 years old when he began to reign over Cush, and 40 years did he reign. So he was 27 when he began to reign in Cush. That is the 150th year, or the 157th year of Israel going down into Egypt. At 27 years old, Moses began to reign in Cush. You know, we're just talking America, but let's go. So Moses was 27 years old when he began to reign over Cush, and 40 years did he reign. And Yahweh granted Moses favor and grace in the eyes of all the children of Cush. And the children of Cush loved him exceedingly. So Moses was favored by Yahweh and by men. And in the 70th day of his reign, all the children of Cush assembled and came before Moses and bowed down to him to the ground. And all the children spoke together in the presence of the king, Moshe, saying, "Give us counsel, that we may seek what is to be done to this city. For it is now 9 years that we have been besieging round about this city, and have not seen our children and our women." So the king answered them, saying, "If you will hearken to my voice, and all that I should command you, then will Yahweh give the city into your hands, and we shall subdue it." So in other words, just keep the law, and Yahweh will rock with you, Cush. Verse 8, "For if we fight with them as in the former battle, which we had with them before the death of Kikianus," and in chapter 72, you read about this king Kikianus, who was the king of Cush before Moses began to reign. So many of us will fall down wounded. So he's saying, hearken to me. "Therefore, behold, here is counsel for you in this matter. If you will hearken to my voice, then will the city be delivered into our hands." So all the forces answered the king, saying, "All that our Lord shall command, that will we do." And Moshe said unto them, "Pass through and proclaim a voice in the whole camp unto all the people, saying, Thus says, go into the forest and bring with you of the young ones of the stork, each man a young one in his hand." This is when you get into translations and you say, who's translating this Hebrew word as a stork? And could they be missing out on some dragon talk? Is he saying, go get you a stork? Listen up to the context. "Thus says the king, go into the forest and bring with you the young ones of the stork, each man a young one in his hand, and any person transgressing the word of the king, who shall not bring his young one, he shall die. And the king will take all belonging to him. And when you shall bring them, they shall be in your keeping. You shall rear them up until they grow up." Are we talking storks or dragons? Oh, you know Moses made him a dragon, right? So don't get it twisted. Numbers 21:6. "And when you shall bring them, they shall be in your keeping. You shall rear them until they grow up. And you shall teach them to dart upon or attack, as is the way of the young ones of the hawk." So teach them to attack like the hawk. So all the children of Cush heard the words of Moshe, and they rose up and caused a proclamation to be issued throughout the camp, saying, "Unless you, all the children of Cush, the kings, unto you, all the children of Cush, the king's order is that you go all together to the forest, each man his young one in his hand, and you shall bring them home. And any person violating the order of the king shall die, and the king will take all that belongs to him. And all the people did so, and they went out to the wood, and they climbed the fir trees, and caught each man a young one in his hand. And of all the young of the storks, they brought them into the desert, and reared them by order of the king, and they taught them to dart upon, similar to the young hawks. And after the young storks were reared, the king ordered them to be hungered for 3 days, like starve them out. Starve them out. And all the people did so. And on the 3rd day the king said unto them, strengthen yourselves and become valiant men, and put on each man his armor, and gird on his sword. So Moses is telling you to put your sword on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You see what I mean? Like when I saw that movie, Kristen Bell, you know, God of Egypt, Kristen Bell was playing Moses. Obviously, that's a crossover, but he was carrying around a sword the whole time, you know, and that's just a part of the story we're missing, is that Moses carried a sword. What kind of sword? Would it be something like King Arthur's sword, something like Excalibur? It had to be a special sword. I mean, he wouldn't tell them to get their swords if he didn't have his sword, right? You just think he's walking with a staff the whole time. So when you start to factor in your swords, and you Google notable swords, just go on Wikipedia and look up notable swords, you're going to start to see all of your stuff popping back up in museums. Gird yourselves with armor. Gird on his sword upon him, and ride each man his horse, and take each his young stork, and it has it in italics, stork, so you can feel free to visualize what that probably means in the grand perspective, because what happens next? And we will rise up and fight against the city at the place where the serpents are. So are we talking snakes or dragons? Well, in this context, it appears that these serpents are snakes being attacked by these storks or dragons, if you will. And we will rise up and fight against the city at the place where the serpents are, or the snakes are. And all the people did as the king had ordered, and they took each man his young one in his hand, and they went away. And when they came to the place of the serpents, the king said to them, send forth each man his young stork upon the serpents. And they sent forth each man his young stork at the king's order. And the young storks ran upon the serpents, and they devoured all of them, and destroyed them out of the place. So again, it's all about perspective. Are these storks attacking literal snakes? Is this a dragon war? What's really popping? And in verse 42, chapter 73. And the war was severe against the children of the east. So Hawa gave all the children of the east into the hand of Moshe. And about 300 men fell down slain, and all the children of the east turned back and retreated. So Moshe and the children of Cush followed them. Moshe and the children of Cush. Right? So you always hear about the children of Israel, Moshe freeing the Hebrews. Did you know he was king of Cush for 40 years? Does that change your perspective? Does that increase your perspective? So Moshe and all the people with him passed from there to the land of Aram for battle. Moses was going into battle as the king of Cush, man. And the people of Aram also went to meet him, and they fought against them, and Hawa delivered them into the hand of Moshe. They're fighting with swords, right? And we know we got those ancient weapons, love to the family of Lincoln, man. So, you know, we got those energy weapons, and you know these swords are energy weapons. We're talking Excalibur, right? Knights of the Round Table, right? King Arthur or King David, right? Prester John. Who was Prester John? We on your ass, Prester John. We on your ass, man. Last noble image, man. We catching up to it. Let's go. We do this every night. We got a Prester John hour every night. So you don't got to wait for Prester John 34, although it is coming. Because we do it every night. Surf the Wave Challenge. And Hawa delivered them into the hand of Moses, and many of the men of Aram fell down wounded, and Aram also were subdued by Moshe and the people of Cush, and also gave their usual tax. And Moshe brought Aram and the children of the east under the subjection to the children of Cush. And Moshe and all the people were with him, turned to the land of Cush. And Moses strengthened himself in the kingdom of the children of Cush, and Hawa was with him, and all the children of Cush were afraid of him. Why? Because he had that soul powwow. You know, that's an intro into, you know, just a bit of the perspective, man. You know, as we dig on, you know, our priest king, we dig on Hosea 3. Hosea 3 and 5, we wake up, we find our Creator, we connect with our Creator, and we immediately start searching for the last noble image, man. Our priesthood, our land, you know, it starts to get clear again for us. So much ado to all the tribe that's been, you know, surfing this wave, man. You see, you know, it's, you know, one wave is connected to all the waves. It's all the water, you know, but there's not just one water that rolls up on the beach. You know, you have to continue to strive for that source to get more water for more waves and keep the waves coming. Don't get washed up. Don't get stagnant. You know, keep having goals for Hawa. Keep meditating and just know that Hawa is with you. You got a design. Don't let nobody, you know, put doubt in your mind for the design that you are. Let them be the design they are. You know what I mean? Drop Nation is what we are. You want to tribe up, you know, tribe up the way you are. You know what I mean? It's just, it's no offense. It's no, you know, lack of respect. It's just the appreciation for the vibrations that are natural by law for you. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it, man. Hawa has connected us to a grand design. And we can just hear our sounds again, hear our vibration, get our senses turned back on. Again, man, you in the boxing, you in the boxing ring, you get knocked out. They say he's knocked out, boss. I don't know if he's alive, boss. Somebody put the smelling salt over you. You finally start to, you know, flare up your nose a little bit. They say, oh, he's alive, boss. He's conscious, boss. He's coming back into consciousness. Now we have a conscious community that has woken up from getting knocked the hell out by an uppercut, man, and a body blow. Now you're conscious. Now you're not dead. That's great. But are you aware? Do you have a 360-degree perspective? Are you striving for the completion? Or do you want to do the bare minimum, the bare necessity? You just want to be, then be. But vibing up is a part of your crystallization. Asking questions is a part of your crystallization. Searching it out is a part of your crystallization. Just like a hamster would in a cage. Search out its surroundings. You must do the same. For your consciousness to become awareness. Now you're aware. Now the boxer's back in the ring. Is he aware, boss? Does he know if a jab is coming? If that right hook is coming? Does he know if that straight left is coming, boss? That left cross, boss? Does he know? I don't know. I think he's conscious, but I don't know if he's aware to see the next punch. Let's stop the fight. He's not aware. He's conscious, but he's not aware. Stop the fight. He's not ready for the frequency war. He might get washed up by the water, the Moshe, the mem might wash him up. It might be chaos. It might be interpreted as chaos. The water might be chaotic. It might not be healing dew for everybody all the time. You're going to have to choose up. Hawaii fights with you. Hawaii fought with Kush when they got in line for 40 years. What happened next? You got to tell me what happened next. Did the children of Cush that rock with Moshe, did they help free you when you got freed from Pharaoh finally? So if Moses was 18, when all that went down about, smiting the Mitzri, killing the Egyptian, if he was 18, and then became king of Cush at 27 for 40 years, that makes him 67. That means he was dang near 70 years old when we had our Exodus, right? 70 years old. And people say, yeah, he was brought up in Egypt all this time. He's the king of Cush while there's still a Pharaoh. While the Pharaoh is rocking and reigning over there, he's the king of Cush, the Khan. Now, of course, you know that these Cushites must have been, mixed with Hebrews as well and all this. And they might still be talking about Hebrews, calling them Cush. But either way, our perspective needs to be 360 degrees. I'm talking the round table, man. A hive to the Templar, if you know what I mean. Drop Nation, we here, man. We in here. We surfing the wave. We getting our water, man. All right, man. We got our water, man. I'm feeling good, man. Like I said, Prester John 34 is coming. It's coming, man. And I mean, we getting some great drop live, man. A hive to the tribe, man. I mean, we getting some great drop live, man. If you ain't getting it live, man, you need to suit up. Prester John, King of the World. This is a book called The Guardians of the Holy Grail by Mark Amaru Pinkham. And Mark Amaru also wrote the Return of the Serpent Kings, Serpents of Wisdom, right? Prester John, King of the World, a name for Marugan and his manifestation as the Kundalini, right? The energy, frequency, serpent or dragon, right? Get my alkaline, man. I'm about to fall back and enjoy the Cities of Gold. Love to Freddie B for dropping season 2 on us. He dropped some great books, man, on us. We've been, reading them, getting into it, man, every night. So now we finally back on track. I had to, bring the show from 10 to 2 to 10 to midnight just so I can kind of free up a little time to, do one more, really good wave on YouTube, man. One more great run for our dismount so we can transition fully into ether, man, with all our family. And we're patient, man. We're patient. Our vision is constantly being molded. You know what I mean? I never say this is this and this is concrete. You got to be water, man. However, the Most High, you know what I'm saying? Whatever we got available, we do it to the best of our ability. You know what I mean? So we're making those moves together. A hive again, a hive to the tribe. Prester John, King of the World, man. King of the world. So when King David wrote up on you, he said, I'm King of the world, Jack. I'm King of the world, Jack. The whole world, man. Not this part. Not just this little land you call Israel over there. The world, Jack. The whole thing, man. Sanskrit, J-N-A-N-A, has its counterpart in John, thus making Ame'rican's English name John. It is by the name John that Marugan, or Marukan, those G's are C's, and those C's are G's or K's. The G can be flipped either way. Marukan, alright. Royal presence was known about in the West during the Middle Ages. And in Love Thai Battle, she drops so much drop, man. She's truly amazing. She drops poetry every night, 5 nights a week. We've been doing it for almost 2 months, man. If you ain't surfed the wave yet, then, you don't have the priority to witness what we're doing. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. But for those that are making a priority, you're opening up portals and vortexes for folks to, have a great path to follow. All praise to Wah. So we're just talking about God, and the sister wrote this poem and put in God, G-O-N-D. When you dig on Prester John, you know, cross-reference a place called God, G-O-N-D. But again, those G's are C's, you know what I mean? So Khan, you know, Khan, Maru Khan's royal presence was known about in the West. All right, in the West. When the Pope and certain heads of state received a series of letters from Prester John. And, you know, of course, we pick that up when we get into those letters. And then we're going to get into this Parsifal, man. It says, could the mysterious Prester John, a name that means elder priest John, or, right, priest king, priest Khan. Yeah, man. Or perhaps Prester John was an Eastern Fisher King. So these Fisher Kings play. So we're going to have to do a whole, this might be Prester John 35, talking about the Fisher Kings. All that is the same thing as Priest King, who had incarnated Ame'rican's soul essence and reigned in his ancient lineage. Incarnated his soul essence, his frequency, and reigned in his lineage. Well, today, what do you think you are? You are incarnations of the soul essence of your ancestors that aren't necessarily in the past. Remember, they're trying to make this futuristic talk, right? You've been waking up to Jetsons and all this future stuff, Born Identity, you know, or Nigerian candidate, you know, all these other things. And they're always trying to, you know, make these, you know, futuristic Tron type of joints. And the reality is, everything they're trying to make you project is your past, man. You look at the weapons of Atlantis and all those, you know, you can see paintings, man, of people having like Tesla type of weapons, man, and the armor, you know, being more, you know, energy conductors and different things, man, copper conductors, different, man, look, man, you know what I'm saying? When you wore a breastplate and they had all these stones, it's about energy, frequency, vibration, man. It's about tuning up. It's about the Holy Grail. Echenbach, Wolfgram Echenbach, leads to believe in Parsifal that Prester John was indeed synonymous with Morrigan by naming him a Fisher King of the Holy Grail lineage. Fisher King? Holy Grail? I mean, you know, we out of here, man. I ain't gonna make this Prester John 34. But you do remember this drop, man. And you know I like to, you know, I give you all the links, man, so don't even trip. This is out the Biblioteca Pleiades, Social Politica. All right, the Brotherhood of the Snake, they say. All right, let's go. And this breaks down a lot. Dodge your own damn hijack. Ty Battle told you that. Dodge your own damn hijack. You do it. Melchizedek. We just talking the Grail. Or more precisely, Melchizedek is none other than the title used by Judo-Christian tradition to denote the function of the Lord of the world. Stop. What did... Maybe I'm tripping, man. You know. Maybe we all tripping. What did Prester John just call himself? Let's go back. I, Johannes, John, the presbyter, priest, Lord of lords, am superior in virtue, riches, and power to all who walk under heaven. 72 kings pay tribute to us. Our might prevails in the 3 Indies, and our lands extend all the way to the farthest Indies. Come on, man. Where the body of Thomas is lying. All right, man. Maybe. King of the world, after announcing himself as the King of the world in the letters of such dignitaries as the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II. Roman. I mean, you know, we do this every night. Sometimes, you know, you gotta keep the reminders going, man. This is a great link here. I'll drop it. History of the pomegranate in the Holy Land. The pomegranate, which was also known as Malum Panicum, or the apple of Carthage. Oh, the pomegranate is the original apple. Apple of Carthage. And again, love to Irvin Reed, the Templar, man, gave us a great map of Missouri. Missouri, that has the city of Carthage in it, was cultivated in Israel more than 5,000 years ago. The pomegranate, you know we're talking about America, right? We're talking about America, right? When you look at Granata on those maps and the forbidden histories of America, it says Granata. Granata is pomegranata. Granata is pomegranata. When you see Granata on the map, you're talking pomegranate, which is referencing the Holy Land. When you see Granata over Utah and New Mexico and Colorado, and it's labeled Granata, Cibola, Zuni Cibola. Cibola is Shimbala or Shabala. So you have Granata being synonymous with Cibola or Shimbala or Shabala. This is India. We do have a map of Florida where it's being called India, and Memphis or Tennessee is being called Tibet, but they're spelling it T-U-B-E-T, not T-I-B. They spell it T-U-B-E-T, so they call it Tibet in Memphis, Tennessee. Stop the play. So when you see Granata on your map, they're talking pomegranate, Pomo-GRANATA, the pomegranate, which was also known as Malum Penukum or apple of Carthage, cultivated in Israel. Its Hebrew name is Rimon. R-I-M-O-N. Can you see it? I know it's small. Can't make this page bigger, but pull it up. So they spell Rimon, R-I-M-O-N. Its Hebrew name is Rimon. Pomegranate, Granata, Holy Land, Cibola, Kalalus, Promised Land. Udall. Much of the same syllables are used in most Semitic or near Shemitic languages. Arabic says Ruman. Instead of Rimon, they say Ruman. Aramaic, Rumanu. In Coptic, Haraman. In Old Egyptian, Inmin or Inman. In early Spanish, Romana. In Portuguese, Roma or Roman. Come on, man. Stop. Wait, man. So Roman is Rimon, a Hebrew word for pomegranate? Stop. So when you talk about these Byzantines and this Roman Empire versus this Roman Empire, which pomegranate is real? Which pomegranate is the concrete? And which pomegranate or Granata or Roma or Roman or Rumano, or there's also a theory that the name Rimon, right, may be associated with Hadad Rimmon, mentioned in Zechariah 12 and 11. Whoa. So you're talking about the Greek historian used Rimbai, R-I-M-B-A-I, Rimbai, for large pomegranates. Large pomegranates or apples, large pomegranate or apple. Who bit the apple? Who bit the pomegranate? Let's go. We're just talking Roma. Rimon in Hebrew is Rimon for pomegranate, or in Portuguese, Roman. So these Romans are hijacking a Hebrew word for promised land or pomegranate or Pomo-GRANATA. But let's go, because this ain't no play. So when we dig right here, Melchizedek, King of the world, Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, received this letter, this Roman, this Romanu, this Rimon, this pomegranate, Holy Land, right? Holy Land, right? Come on, man. Holy Land, right? Okay. Just surfing away. Holy Land, right? Holy Romans, right? So now you got the forbidden histories of America. They keep saying these Roman, Jewish Romans, or whatever they call them, Roman Jewish Empire. That's in America. Roman is you. Roman is Granata. Roman is Promised Land. Roman is pomegranate. We're just talking Holy Grail. We're just talking about the function of the Grail. Melchizedek is thus king and priest. His name means king of justice, and he is also called the king of Salem, Jerusalem, that is, of peace. So again, we find justice and peace, the fundamental attributes pertaining to the Lord of the world, king of the world, Khan, emperor. The mystery of the Grail. All right, so Julius Evola, who wrote the book The Mystery of the Grail, wrote, in some Syriac texts, mention is made of a stone that is the foundation or center of the world, hidden in the primordial depths near God Hawa's temple. It is put in relation with the body of primordial men, Adam, and interesting enough, with an inaccessible mountain place, mountain, tree, the access to which must not be revealed to other people. Here, Melchizedek, peace, justice, in divine. All right, so here's a quote. In divine and eternal service, watches over Adam's body. In Melchizedek, we find again the representation of the supreme function of universal ruler, king of the world, Khan, Ha-Khan, high priest. When you put the Ha in front of Khan, the Ha is breath, right? You get more breath, more revealing, more sight. All right? Ha-Khan, high priest, which is simultaneously regal and priestly, regal Negro. Here, this representation is associated with some kind of guardian of Adam's body who originally possessed the Grail and who, after losing it, no longer lives. This is found together with the motifs of a mysterious stone and an inaccessible seat. Clearly the foundation stone they're calling it, right? And that's when they try to tie it into this black stone or hidden sun. Died your own hijacks, but dig on the frequency. Or the Grail stone, which is said to be hidden in that location. The Grail romances, listen up. The Grail romances provide us with much insight into the king of the world concept. He is represented in the story by one of the supporting characters, Prester John, a king who is mentioned in passing as ruling over a spiritual domain in the faraway east. Naga, where are you? Flip your map, or I'm going to slap that map out your hands, man. And who quite fittingly is said to come from Davidic descent. So Prester John, a king who is mentioned in passing as ruling over a spiritual domain in the faraway, quote, east, and who quite fittingly is said to come from Davidic descent. He is a David. David is a title. King David is not the first David. Let's go. Evola continues. The Tractatus Pulcherimus refers to him as King of Kings or Rex Regnum. He combines spiritual authority with regal power. King David, Davidic descent. The David gets passed. So Genghis Khan came in the early 1200s and stole the Khan and the title David. Now you have this King David of India popping up in 1221. You're just talking Genghis Khan, who stole the priesthood, stole the Ame'rican. Let's go. Amaru Khan, let's go. Dragon Kings, let's go. Prester John, a king who is mentioned, ruling over a spiritual domain, coming from Davidic descent. Prester John is only a title, right? We're just talking titles and names, which designates not a given individual, but rather a function. Thus, in Wolfgram von Eschenbach, we got back to this Eschenbach, in the tutorial, we find Prester John as a title, the Grail. The Holy Grail. Prester John is the Grail. As we will see, indicates from time to time the person who must become Prester John. Become the Grail, become the what? Moreover, in legend, Prester John designates one who keeps in check the people of Gog and Magog. Sound like script? Sound like King David to you? Sound like Solomon to you? Priest King to you? Moses to you? Joshua to you? Prester John designates one who keeps in check the people of Gog and Magog, constantly checks the hijack, constantly slaying the hijack, who exercises a visible and invisible dominion, power, figuratively dominion over both natural and invisible beings, and who defends the access of his kingdom with lions and giants and dragons and shit. In his kingdom is also found the fountain of youth. And we got that before, that Prester John said he took at least 6 baths in the fountain of youth, turning him back to the age of 32. Him and his crew, his whole tribe, took 6 baths in the fountain of youth. And that was in the letter of 1165. So how many baths have they taken by now? The dignity of a sacred king, we're talking immortal kings, dragon kings, the dignity of a sacred king is often accompanied by biblical reminiscences, by presenting Prester John as the son or nephew of King David. They're just calling it a biblical reminiscence. Come on, man. Reminiscence. Look, man, they're just trying to, go, just take a loose abstract perspective and give you a reminiscence. We're just going to reminisce on this stuff. We're not going to give you anything concrete by presenting Prester John as the son or nephew of King David. So if they're not giving you something concrete fully by presenting him as the son or nephew of King David, then what's the real spiel? If that's what they're giving you as the abstract, if that's the abstract, biblical abstract of what the real deal is, they're just saying, oh, Prester John, this king of the world. See, they don't present King David in the script as the king of the world. They say, yeah, he's the king over these tribes, Israel, and yeah, no one's fading them, but they don't really give you the full scoop that he has swords and dragons and literally controls the flow of everything, because he controls Mount Roraima, and Mount Roraima is the source of the Orinoco and the Amazon. What are we talking, Mississippi? What are we talking now? We just took a flow down the Nile. Prester John as the son or nephew of King David, and sometimes as King David himself. Body bag, Daniel. Body bag, Daniel. Let go. Prester John is the only title in the name designates not only a given individual, but rather a function, my niggas. What's the function? Function is freedom. A freedom frequency. Hawa. Prester John designates one who keeps in check the people of Gog and Magog, who exercises a visible and invisible dominion, figuratively dominion over both natural and invisible beings. Level up, man. And who defends the axis of his kingdom with lions and giants. In this kingdom is also found the fountain of youth. The dignity of a sacred king is often accompanied by biblical reminiscences, by presenting Prester John as the son or nephew of King David, and sometimes as King David himself. David, king of the Hindus, or the Indias, or the Indians. Take off the H. Take the H off of Hindus. What do you got? 1 letter rule. All right, even Butler told you that, right? The 1 letter rule. King of the Indus, Indians, who is called by the people, Prester John, the king. Prester John descends from the son of King David. Or it's sometimes King David himself. We're talking about the function. We're talking about the Grail. And we're about to get to it, man. Keep surfing the wave. Enjoy the sight. We're working, we're working hard, man, behind the scenes, getting you know what I mean, fluid for you. There's a lot more we're doing. There's a lot more, you know, connectability, you know what I mean, things that we're, you know, making run smoother. You know, I'm still messing with this template, making sure it's nice and smooth for you. Yeah, man, we just flowing, you know what I mean? We're live right now. Let's see what's going on, man. That one of these 7 giants, Ex-Hoa, surnamed the architect, went to Kololan and built an artificial hill or pyramid in memory of the mountain on which he and his 6 brethren were saved, agrees with Ham or Belus, one of the 8 saved on Mount Ararat from the flood, going from there to Chaldea or Babylonia and building the Tower of Belus or Babel. The name Exel-Wa is very similar to Keolus, the ancient Latin name of Ham, or for Ham was given the name Keolus. I know I'm not saying that, but you know, you see it, you read it, which means heaven. But he was an astronomer, because he was an astronomer and studied the heavenly bodies. And out of the 8 principal persons saved from the flood, 4 were women and 4 were men, vis-a-vis Noah, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. And it follows that Exel-Wa, who built the pyramid and was on one of the giants saved from the great flood, one of the giants saved from the great flood. You know, of course they said we were bigger then. I mean, you know, what does a giant mean? According to the Kalulans, one must be one of the above 4 men, and for a reason the first of this chapter must be Ham, surnamed Belus. Man, so it goes in, man. I want to get this one more part, man. I'm going to get this tie battle poetry. And we're going to do it like that. I mean, hey, you know what I mean? We got what we got. We're going to get what we get. You see, I'm all in, man. I'm all in, man. We ain't taking no breaks. We just going, man. To get it. We got plenty of time for that. I'm giving you what you got, man. Shabbatai, what it do? This is good, top battle. This is good. I know. Right here, man, you see Carthage right on this map that Irvin Reed dropped on this man, Love to the Templar, the Saints of Missouri in Illinois, 1831. You see Carthage, all right, Carthage. So when we're reading about the pomegranate, it literally says, the apple of Carthage. Now you have a reference point to Carthage in Missouri. And we got before on this Adam on the Aman. You see over here next to David or Davies. We just talked about King David, right? Everything's under your feet. You see the wheat, David, all right? Adam on the Aman. And let's see, we still got that drop. Yeah, I'll drop this as well. Man, love to the tribe, man. Just dropping all this wonderful drop every night. Adam on the Aman, sometimes clipped to Diamond, is a historic site in Davies, Missouri, about 5 miles south of Jameson. It is located along the east bluffs of the Grand River, according to the Church of Latter-day Saints. It is the site where, listen up, man, are they making this up? Because we are confirming it in our recon. We're confirming that we are home, that this is the old world. So open your eyeballs and you know, let your ears hear this frequency, man, and you go dig on it. We're talking Missouri. We're talking Adam on the Oman, right? We're talking Adam on the Aman in the Missouri. Saints in Missouri. Saints in Missouri. Saints, Adam, David, Davies, Carthage, Saints in Missouri. Adam on the Aman. Church of LDS says that it's the site where Adam and Eve lived after being expelled from the Garden of Eden, man. The LDS Church says that this Missouri spot in Missouri, is the site where Adam and Eve lived after being expelled from the Garden of Eden. It teaches that the place will be a gathering spot for a meeting of a priesthood leadership, including prophets of all ages and other righteous people. Are they telling the truth? Will there be a meeting, a gathering spot of a priesthood, a khanate, a priesthood, a tribal gathering, a priesthood? Adam and Eve, Missouri, the place where Adam and Eve lived after being expelled from the Garden of Eden, Missouri. Well, yeah, Columbus did say the Orinoco River flowing out of South America is flowing out of the terrestrial paradise. The source of the Orinoco River is Mount Roraima. I think that plays. And of course it's connecting. Of course it's all connected, man. So with that in mind, man, we just surfing the wave. You know what I mean? We live on the radio. Deifying and twisting the real spill. You know, we just trying to get to the we live on the radio. To the bro. So Ham was Zeus Haman. Whoa. Ham was Zeus Haman. Come on, man. It gets deep, man. So make sure you get in that drop. Man, make sure you in the drop chatter, man. You know, go over here, scroll over the drop library, click on drop chat. Don't be shy now. And, you know, come hijack free, man. What it do to the home team, man. And this is all this last night's drop, man. I mean, oh, man. You know, hold on. Let me get, here we go. Yeah, man, this is all last night's drop, man. This is my little avatar, man. They call it the Carbon Surfer, man. I'll be carbon surfing it up, man. But this is all from last night, man. Hiram, Art, Ty, Battle, KB, the hijacker said Zion. We did a Sparta boot. Every night we got a drop therapy session. We visualize the negative vibrations jamming us up, and we boot your punk ass off the metaphysical, magical cliff bone hijack. We boot the hijack clean in the chest bone. Bow! Huh? Bow! Huh? Bow! Man, bang, bang, man. Look at, man. Hijack free. Man, this is what we do after we drop the hijack off. We, woo! Man, we get down, man. These are Ty Battles boots. So every time it's time to drop a hijack off, we follow these boots. It's the coldest stroll in the game when you're about to kick a hijack in the chest bone, man. Just like we do every night. Bow! Boom! Ho! Alright, man. Cities of gold. Let's go, man. Let's get it. Let's get the first episode. I want episode 1, season 2, man. Love to Freddie B. I got the DVD. I got the DVDs. Season 1, season 2. Looking for season 3s. Oh, man, we're going to make our own season 3 up, man. Much out to Freddie B. Man, my children wrote him some cool little letters, man, and he said he enjoyed it. So it's just really dope to have tribe like that, man, that show up for you, man, really for the whole tribe. So we can have this moment right here and get into the Chronicle of Akakor. What it do, man? Drop Nation, man. I see you, man. Hold up. Hold up, man. Hold up. I gotta do one thing, you already know. Hold up. You already know. Where's that copyright thing at? Alright, fair use. And yo, caboose bone, man. Fair use. Copyright law. Fair use, man. 106, 106A. Criticism, comments, you know, teaching. Classroom, scholarship, research. Alright, man. Don't jam me up, man. Let's go. Alright, let's get our view on. Let's get cozy. Full screen is, let's go. Part 1. Yeah, man. Let's go, man. Let's start this off right. Whoa. Look, obviously you already see that this is going to be a little different. The animation ain't like the other one, but they do got drag and drop to make up for it, alright? So you saw the dragon right away take off that cliff bone, right? Alright, man, let's go.
Time has just begun. searching for your ways through adventures every day.
Wow.
Every day and night, with the condor in the flight, with all your friends in tow, we search for the cities of gold. Wishing for the cities of gold. Someday we will find
The cities of gold. Do.
17th
Let
century.
go.
While man explores the world, craving adventure and conquest, a legend of 7 ancient cities guides the steps of 3 children in quest of their origins. But others are on their...
All right, 7 ancient cities. So this 7 keeps popping up. 7 cities, 7 cities, 7 cities. Let's go.
trail, willing to do anything to get their hands on the powers and riches of the mysterious cities of gold.
Spain, 16th century. Barcelona prison. Six months earlier, in the Andes jungle.
I just can't. It's a sacrilege. Obey, Mayuka. You've got no choice. Only the Incan will come down with me. No. Tell me what is written there. Around the world, mankind will never stop looking for the 7 cities of gold that hold in their bosom the 7 greatest secrets of Mu. I know all that already. What else does it say?
Whoa, slow down, homie. What'd you say, man? Huh?
In their bosom, the 7 greatest secrets of Mu.
Of Mu. And earlier, or actually later, they're gonna say that Tao is from Mu, therefore he must hate the Atlanteans because he's from Mu. So there's this ancient territorial war, this hijack going on between these, what appears these Nagas, these dragon kings of Mu, versus these snake kings of Atlantis. Dragon versus snake. And these snakes are trying to get their hands on the 7 cities, where they've been trying to get their hands on the secrets of Move to get the powers of the Dracon. Let go.
I know all that already.
Okay.
What else does it say?
All right.
Speak. The sun will guide the way. Yes. It's empty. What was in this chest? A map. Who took it? If you wish to save your village, tell me what you know. 3 children came here. Children? Like in the legend? They've already found one city of gold, but it was destroyed. I want to know everything about those children. Everything. Huh? No, please, I told you everything I know. No. Close it back on.
Barcelona, 6 months later.
Sailing on to our destiny.
It's midnight. I'm closing.
It's the jig of the 7 seas of the sailor man who are thirsty. It's the jig of you and me, as thirsty as can be.
It's time. Tau, what's Rico's map say? The tower on the right.
Esteban.
Don't worry, Zia. I'll be fine.
So it's rats we got now. You hear that, Mendoza? Rats. Why don't you want us to talk to Zares?
He promised to let us out.
Yeah, he's right. Plus, the kids aren't in any danger. They're probably having fun right now. While we're cooped up in here with rats.
Have you already forgotten that Zares is the one who confiscated all our gold and had us locked up in here?
Huh? Gold?
Yeah, all that gold that we brought back from the New World. And we were rich, and now we're poor. Shh.
Tau, he's going to fall.
You guys are lucky. At least Sarez knows you're alive. I've been locked up in here for years.
Oh, Pedro, I don't want to end up like him.
Yeah, maybe we could have just a little talk with Sarez.
No, a man like him cannot be trusted. As soon as he finds out what he wants to know, he'll kill us. Who goes there?
Who goes there? Who goes there? Who goes there?
This way. My turn now. Cover your ears! Maybe I got carried away with the gunpowder.
Stop right there! Don't move! Who are you?
I'm just a poor little girl who's lost.
I think he's down for the night.
Maybe, but other guards will be here soon. We must hurry.
Wait a second.
Yeah! Mendoza! Sancho! Pedro!
It's the kids!
What are you doing here?
We've come to set you free.
Yeah.
How did you find out we were here?
Rico, we went to his tavern looking for you, and he told us everything.
Hey, kid, you're gonna set me free too, right?
The explosion came from over there! Hurry! Now stay calm. You can do this.
This way, hurry!
Hey, what about me? Get me out of here. I can show you the way to escape. I used to be a warden here before Cyrus locked me up.
A warden. So then you must know which key opens up your cell.
This one. The coast is clear.
Huh? You're not coming?
Don't worry about me, kid. I'll lock the gate down below so the guards won't be able to get out. And then, whoop, I'm out of here.
Esteban, hurry!
Get lost!
Faster! Hey! Halt! Halt!
Esteban! Come down!
on! Go down! Now! No!
I want to go back to my cell. I prefer a rat.
You fool! You were given specific orders.
Mendoza, that man with the hooded cape, up there on the ramparts. Who was he?
He's the one who had us brought in for interrogation. Some call him the man without a face. His real name is Zaris.
But why did he have you arrested?
He never really said why, but I know he's looking for the lost cities of gold.
What? Him as well?
Which means he knows who you are.
Children! Mendoza! I just can't believe you guys actually did it.
Why did you come back to Barcelona?
Esteban needs to speak with you.
Is it about the other cities of gold?
Hey, did you find them?
Looking for them. They couldn't have gone too far. Come on, this way. Follow me. This secret passageway, you can get out of the city.
Thanks, Rico.
Good luck.
We'll be safe here. I propose we spend the night.
And tomorrow, at the crack of dawn, we fly out on the Great Condor.
Like the good old days.
And so, where did you hide the great con?
It's not far from here.
We discovered in the middle of the jungle a temple with an enormous statue of the feathered serpent, and underneath it, a secret underground. And in a chest, we found a strange map.
Can I see it?
Go on, Tao. We went over this. Mendoza can help us.
With maps, he's an expert. He'll figure it out, no problem.
Cities of gold, here we come.
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh no!
I figured this map was different from all the others.
With a little bit of time, I might be able to decipher it. Until then, you should get some sleep. I'll stand guard.
At your orders, my captain.
You wanted to talk to me, Esteban?
Yes. Do you remember when we discovered the first city? There was that high priest wearing a gold mask.
Yes, of course, I remember.
Just before he died, his final words were very strange. I can still feel the warmth of his hand against my cheek.
Esteban. Do not be sad, and you mustn't worry. You too have your own path to follow. In order to become truly great, my child, a son must surpass his father. By the way, do you know who named you Esteban? It really is a beautiful name, you know. Son of the sun.
Almost every night, I have a nightmare where I see him die. Mendoza. Was that man my father? You spent time with the other priests. Maybe they said something. If you know anything, please tell me. I'm begging you.
That man was known by many as the traveling prophet. Yes, he was your father.
Traveling prophet, huh?
Thank you, Mendoza. No.
Why is the mysterious Zara so interested in our heroes, and is he responsible for Esteban's disappearance?
You know where to
Will
meet
Zia
up!
and Tao succeed in finding him?
Come on, we gotta think of Esteban. Family?
You'll find out in the next episode of the Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Cities of gold. Cities of gold.
Adventure begins in Spain. Let's follow our hero's footsteps. Already in the 16th century, Barcelona was a major port thanks to sea commerce.
It's the King of the Seven Seas sailing onto our destiny.
Later, Cocopedal. In the heart of Barcelona, cars cannot circulate in the ancient and narrow streets that carry us back deep into the past. We get the impression we might just run into Esteban, Zia, and Tao. We could also see them climbing the fortress of Montjuic that overlooks Barcelona. Today, you can visit the chateau that was once a prison. But I don't wish you to join Mendoza, his friends, and Cocopedal.
Prison! No! Save me!
Cocopedal Scoop.
What, you know how to find Rico's Tavern?
Whoa! Rico's Tavern must have been located in the old district of Barrio Gatico. And what if we tried to find it? Perhaps it's this one here.
No, it's too slow.
Or this one here?
No, wait. I think it's more like...
Anyway, if you find it, don't hesitate to go in. Rico is surely waiting for you.
Here it is. Found it. It's the King of the Seven Seas sailing.
That's all for today.
What a shame. Bye.
Yeah, buddy. We back. Cities of gold. Alright, man. So we're gonna come back, get that Barcelona Part 2, Secret of the Drum, The Alchemist, Shaolin, all, man. Alright, man, it's going down. You already know, man. Fair use. In your caboose bone, man. Yeah, I mean, how y'all want to make a dismount, man? You know what I mean? How y'all want to do this? Let's get to the site, man. Make a nice little dismount. Let's do it ether style, man, if we're going to do it. Let's get it in the ether. Yeah, we just got that drop. Chizat, yeah, again, man, get in the drop chat. Water's warm, man. You're going to see it's just cutting loose. You know, dropping links, man, doing what it do. We got more to come, man. This is just, you know, a truly growing sensation, man. It's a fun thing. And I, implore you to start getting back to the auditory listening, learning through auditory, man, learning through listening, man, not just watching and needing images all the time. If you want your images, you can put your links in a drop chatter, man. All right. And again, go ahead and surf the wave, man. Let's make a dismount on one of these shows, man. Ty Battle been dropping some beautiful poetry. Get it in the ether. This is pretty dope, actually. Let's get this, man. Snakes slither, but dragons fly, by Aqua Ty Battle. Snakes slither, but dragons fly. Snakes slither on the land that can be wet, cool, or dry. Dragons fly freely in the vast, endless, and blue sky. Snakes slither and sneak above or below the ground. Dragons fly in the air high above, below, and all around. Snakes slither, skid, and are foxy sidewinders that slide. Dragons fly, shoot, and are air raiders that easily glide. Snakes slither, wiggle, and secretive are deceptively whine. Dragons fly, float, and stay on their honest protective grind. Snakes slither on course, coil, and can hide under cover. Dragons fly, levitate, soar, mount, shoot, and can hover. Snakes slither, are actively cunning, and they creepily crawl. Dragons fly, are revealing, calm, but they will readily brawl. All up in your ass, man. Man, much a high, man. Snakes slither, but dragons fly. Aquata, yeah, I wish I had my applause button, but we can at least get this dismount in the ether, a hive for surfing the wave. Oh, man, look, man, when you go over here, man, you might hear some smooth joints. We're actually tuning it up. This gives me a good reminder to say much a hive to Isaac Ford for all the great work he's been doing, tuning you up. Go dig on it, man. I would let that cut play, but you already know how they go over here with this copyright strikes. But you know what I mean? We're going to get it like this, man. Get this drop right here, the stanzas of Zion or Zion or Zion. All right, let's get it. All right, man, we're going to get it like this with this Caramello episode 3. The bro's been putting it down every week. Go get the drop. Go get the drop. Actually, man, when you're on the site, make sure you got the schedule, man. You can go right here. Click on TDR live schedule. Alright, get your dismount right, man. Make sure you know what's going on. Make sure you know what's popping. You can see the schedule, everybody's shows, and it's gonna change, and we're gonna keep being framed in shape over here. Give us that a high, man, if you know what it is. You see the Monday night lineup, man. You see you can get the replays during the day. You get that midnight hour soulful music around midnight, man. You got Mondays, man. Your Honiton Hebrew Prince at 6 o'clock. This is all Pacific time. Caramello at 7. Vanessa at 8. You got the Prester Hour every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 10. Then you got our show, The Drop Off, coming in from 10 to 12. And again, you got that midnight hour. Tuesdays, you got KB at 6. Irvin Reed at 7. You got Draconology 101 at 8. And Prester Hour at 9. Then the drop off from 10 to midnight. Wednesdays, you got Ty Battle at 6. CJ Battle at 7 with his Ether session, man. Beautiful. Alright. Then you got Prester John at 9. Drop off. Alright. Then you got Thursdays, Kate Stew, Camellia Stew, man. Love to the stewards, man. Much a hive. Big at 6, giving you that root. I mean, the sister's breaking down the Hebrew language, man. Just so much of the root, so much of the foundation. Big bruh comes in with that living well, teaching you to eat right, man. Transition, man, away from the meats and stuff like that. Chef Candy comes in following that great up, that great work up, man, with her recipes, and she's reading the Koba Coba's Code at 8 o'clock Thursday. Then you got the Prester Hour at 9, drop off from 10 to midnight. And Friday, you got J Stu coming in at 6, Natural by Law coming in at 7 with the Copper Serpent of Truth. J Stu got the Duty of Man. Hiram comes in hot, hitting you over the head at 8 Friday. So you see that lineup, man, leading into that Shabbat show. All right. And then Saturday, man, we got Ty Battle, got her second show she launched. So, man, we launched over a dozen shows in the last 3 or 4 weeks, or 3 weeks, man. So I don't know anybody that's rolled that fast, but we've been moving very fast, man, over here. All praise Allah. Ty Battle got a show called Crystals Essentials, just dropping Crystal Drop. Then you got Zahn reading with Chef Candy reading the book called The King's Fifth by Scott Odell, which is what the Cities of Gold that you just saw is based off of the book The King's Fifth. So the sister, Chef Candy, is reading the book The King's Fifth Saturdays at 7. And then AD comes in, or excuse me, Saturdays at 6. And then AD comes in at Saturday at 7 with that Hour of Truth with AD the Truth Seeker. Then you got Isaac 4, man, a hop to Isaac, who's dropping a 2-hour mix on you, man. Saturday night flow called The Frequency Rehab. So you get the Frequency Rehab from 8 to 10, a beautiful drop mix, man. And so far, that's our lineup, man. Oh, you know, again, 2 or 3 weeks, man, we've been building this, keeping it strong, coming strong for you, man. So, Ahab Drop Nation, man, we be patiently waiting. Karen Mayo, man, take us out for the dismount. Karen Mayo, meditation, subscribe to the bro. Ahab King, let's get it.
Wow.
Wow.
Shalom, Shabbat. Another episode, another week. Thank you, kingdrop. So today I have a lot of information to read, so I want to get to it right away. It's basically regarding the enslavement of the Indian Aboriginal of America, right? So let's go right to Wikipedia right now. In Wikipedia, there is an article or a document stating, or that says Indian slave trade in the...
Oh, hold on, let me get it back. Karen Mayo got the drop, man. Oh yeah, getting that drop library. Yeah, man. And you got another 100 books coming. Hyperspeed coming in there, man. So, man, where's that? Here we go. Karen Mayo. There we go.
Cootie Mail.
There we go. There we go. Let's get it.
Hawa, Shalom, Shabbat. Another episode, another week. Thank you, kingdrop. So today I have a lot of information to read, so I want to get to it right away. It's basically regarding the enslavement of the Indian Aboriginal of America, right? So let's go right to Wikipedia right now. In Wikipedia, there is an article or a document stating, or that says Indian slave trade in the American Southeast, right? So Southeast, you know where that is, right? The South, right? Where all the plantations were. So it says, Native Americans living in the American Southeast were enslaved through warfare and purchased by English and French colonists throughout the 1600s and early 1700s, as well as held captive through Spanish organized forced labor regimes in Florida. And we're going to talk about this forced labor, right? Emerging colonies in Virginia, Carolina, later North and South Carolina, and Georgia imported Native Americans and incorporated them into chattel slavery systems. We're going to talk about this chattel slavery systems, what they're referring to. A little further down, it says, the British colonies of Virginia, Carolina, and Georgia imported enslaved indigenous peoples as workers during the 17th and early 18th centuries. The Carolina colony became a major exporter of enslaved Indians to the other colonies, including those of New England and the Caribbean. The southern colonies were known for their use of slavery to keep their large plantation economy running. It is usually assumed that all slaves were from Africa. However, Native Americans were also frequently enslaved, and in some cases were used more than African slaves. Again, it is usually assumed that all of the slaves were from Africa. However, Native Americans were also frequently enslaved, and in some cases were used more than African slaves. And we're talking about the southeastern colonies here, right? Alright, so where are they then? If they look like the ones of today, where are those Native Americans if they were at times more frequently used for slavery in those areas? Where are they? Now we know what they're talking about, right? We've been learning, we've been waking up. Who are the Aboriginal, who are the original Indians? We already know it's the so-called Negro, the so-called African American. Continuing with Wikipedia, it says here, European enslavement of Native Americans. Historians have estimated that tens of thousands of Native Americans were enslaved, but the exact number is unknown, because vital statistics and census reports were infrequent or lacking. Andres Resendes estimates that between 147,000 and 340,000 Native Americans were enslaved in North America, excluding Mexico. Linford Fisher estimate is much higher, at 2.5 million to 5.5 million. Alright, so listen to what he's saying, millions. So where are they if they look like the Mongol Asians that are in the reservations today? Where are they? They're not in the South. You know what's in the South. All so-called African Americans. Alright, so let's continue. Even though records became more reliable in the later colonial period, records of Native American slaves received little to no mention, or they were classed with African slaves with no distinction. You hear that, right? So they were classed with African slaves with no distinction. And we know that at these times they were calling the Native Americans colored as well, mulatto, and all types of names instead of their tribal name, right? And they were being classified with African slaves, so-called African, right? Why? Because they were the same color, right? So, for example, the case of Sarah Shaukum of Rhode Island, her master listed her as mulatto in the bill of sale to Edward Robinson, but she won her freedom by asserting her Narragansett identity. Now, Narragansett, I believe, is up there in Long Island, New York, up there in New England as well. And if you've watched my videos, the Hebrew copper-colored tribes of America, I clearly show you that these people, they were, copper-colored, and a lot of them look like the Cape Verdeans that populate these areas. There's more Cape Verdeans in New England than in actual Cape Verde, the country. Now, Cape Verdeans are referred to be mulatto, right? Because they say that they are a mix of white Portuguese with the black people or Negro people of Africa, right? Now, I grew up with Cape Verdeans in Boston. That is the biggest minority, so-called minority in Boston, are Cape Verdeans, right? If you don't know, they are mulatto, but most of them are basically Negro, copper-colored, right? And logical Cape Verdeans will tell you themselves is, how are we all mulatto? Like, why isn't there some, an extreme of whites and extreme of blacks? Everybody, all of them, most of them look mulatto, right? Or Negro. So there is no, there's not a lot of light-skinned white people. Of course, there's Portuguese that interbred with them, but it's not a general rule. The general is that they are mulatto or Negro. And again, they've been there for generations in these places of New England. And we just read this lady from Narragansett tribe in the same area. She was considered a mulatto in her bill of sale. So now let's continue regarding mulatto. I want to read from Jack Forbes' book, Africans and Native Americans. Great book, a lot of drop in it. So listen to what he says about mulatto. In the introduction of this book, Jack Forbes says, "Long ago, when first working with my own Powhatan Lenape people of Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and surrounding areas, I discovered that the meaning of racial terms was a controversial issue. I learned that terms such as mulatto and colored were used or had been used in Virginia in a quite different way from their usage in most books, including modern dictionaries."
Bang, man. Much hype to Karen Mayu. Again, subscribe on YouTube. To him and all the family, man, dropping that drop. Come enjoy the ether, man. Karen Mayu drops, man, every Monday at 7, man, 7 Pacific. All you gotta do is click listen, download the app on iTunes or Google Play, and you can get that 24/7 Zion. Zion up, stay up, choose up, suit up, drop nation. Shabbat.